What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Committed Critics, a pop culture podcast. We're not only committed to our opinions, but also each other.
Aww.
I'm Kevin Lau.
I'm Ryan Davis.
And I'm Zachary Wright. Boys, how you doing?
Doing good, especially after watching Star Wars Visions. I finished the last episode about a couple hours ago.
Nothing like last minute, am I right? Fresh on the brain.
Of course.
I've watched it 3 times already. The whole series.
Good Lord, Ryan.
Nice.
And sub and dub. The way it was meant to be.
I watched mostly dub. How about you, Zach?
I watched mostly dub too, just because I didn't feel like switching it out. Even though when I came on to watch it from my own Disney Plus, we started watching something else that was not Star Wars Visions. And it was in Japanese. I'm like, Ryan, change back my sub and dub titles, please.
I watched it. I forgot to change it back. I was so hyped over watching it, and then I was like,
disrespected me by not changing back my own Disney Plus.
It's like the equivalent of not putting the toilet seat back down.
Yeah.
I was giving you the chance to listen to a different voice for these movies or whatever. I don't know.
That's my only negative about Star Wars Visions, though. So that's
in Japanese. Wow, Zach.
No, that Ryan didn't respect me.
All right,
I did respect you,
Zach, because you hate Japanese.
Oh my God! What the
Zach
hell?
is Japanese, everyone. You heard it here.
Oh my!
The white guy
Fine.
on
I
our
mostly watch the
podcast.
English anyway, so
Yeah, exactly.
it's whatever.
Oh man, the tables turned on me so
I embrace
quick.
my inner weeb. Okay.
All right,
Man, but
so
yes, as you can obviously tell, we're going to talk about Star Wars Visions, available to watch on Disney Plus. # not sponsored. So some of our quick spoiler-free thoughts on Star Wars Visions.
Real quick,
I
Kevin,
personally
give
thought
it.
Go
Kevin, give a description
Yeah.
of Star Wars Visions for our audience.
Star Wars Visions. It's Star Wars but anime, and it's not canon? ?
We don't know.
Yeah.
Up to interpretation, whatever you want.
It's like
I mean, I'm pretty sure
Elseworld-type
Bunny
deal.
Girl's now canon. I'm pretty sure the fandom's gonna want that.
Ryan, do you want Bunny Girl to be canon?
No, I didn't say that.
Don't
Kevin
lie.
does.
Don't lie.
Kevin wants a canon.
A little bit.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, continue with your thoughts, Kevin. I'm sorry.
Not specifically as like that, but I'll explain later. But yeah, so these, it's an anthology series, so each episode is its own little short film set in its own little time period and maybe even own alternate universe. We don't know. But what we do know is that some are good, some are just okay. I personally don't care for, I personally don't care for some of them, but but there's none of them that where I would consider as bad.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
overall, I give it a 7 out of 10.
Ryan?
I also say there was a lot of good, and there's not really any bad. I won't give it a 7 out of 10 because I did enjoy it. I watched it 3 times. I geeked over it the entire time I was watching it. So I'm going to be judgmental of it and give it 9 out of 10 and not give it 10 out of 10 like I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I echo with you what you both said. Like, there's interesting stories. I respect each episode for the direction the story told. None are bad per se. Like you guys said, you didn't really care for them. I just find some more boring than others and wasn't really invested in the story being told.
Right.
And I think
That's fair.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Like when it's good, like it's really good.
Yeah.
And when it's bad, it's just kind of like, all right, whatever.
It's a meh
like,
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
It's
me,
like I'm not sure if you guys saw this meme years ago. Hard weird to think that's years ago, but it's like the meme comparing the season finale of Flash season 1 and then Arrow season 3.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yep, I know what you mean.
But yeah, no, what I was just gonna say was I feel like the more hype moments are less and few and far between than the boring episodes. So for that, I give it a 6 out of 10 just because there's only like 3 or 4 that I would say I'd probably want to go back and rewatch compared to the rest of out of the 9. So
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, so Star Wars Visions, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out on Disney Plus. It's really short, only 9 episodes long, each of them like no more than 25 minutes. Some of them are even like 15 minutes
I think
less.
the longest was 20. I think.
Yeah, somewhere
Yeah.
in there. So now we're gonna dive into spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, you might want to turn it off right now. But anyways, what is one thing you liked about Star Wars Visions? Ryan, you want to kick us off?
Anime.
Fair
All right,
enough.
fair enough. Moving on.
Understandable. Have a good day.
Have a great rest of your day, sir.
No, it very much it captured each type of different anime that I have enjoyed. Some of the studios I recognized, and plus, again, I like Star Wars, and it didn't feel like it was just they didn't just like carbon copy all the Star Wars. There was one episode that kind of just took everything that was Star Wars and just threw it into one thing. But like,
Yeah.
Is that
everything.
twins?
Yeah, the twins just kind of
The twins took everything from Star Wars, put it in a blender, and just blended it up and threw a bunch of protein in there and said, "Here you go."
That's
This is
what I
your-
thought.
yeah.
It's like, it's like, oh, it's just Luke and Leia, but if Leia was Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought of it as this is like those things where they have a bot write a comic or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what this felt like.
Yeah, that's what the twins
That's
was.
actually, yeah.
That's very accurate.
Pretty fair.
It was just like, hey, this twin fights this twin. Lightsabers slice through ship. I'm like,
Yeah.
It was
alright.
the most Star Wars of the Star Wars I've ever seen.
Yeah,
It-
I
it-
was just
Yeah, it was one of those things, those episodes where I was like, oh yeah, this is Star Wars, but also it's like, this is what non-anime people think anime is.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like I
It
already knew
was-
it was gonna be over the top from the trailers because they showed waifu General Grievous.
Mhm.
Well, even so, like I love the art style. All the visuals in the episode were really, really cool. Like you said, for me, like not being a big like anime guy, I was like, man, this is the most anime I've ever watched in my life. I think. Like this is the most anime I've ever seen. Good lord! But like all the colors and visuals are very cool. And going back to what be the most Star Wars thing, there's every kind of Star Wars beat possible. There's ships, there's lasers, there's breeding in space, there's like big old lightsabers. There's weird family dynamics. Like, is this Kylo and Rey? Is this Luke and Leia? Or is it from the EU when it was Jaina and Jason Solo? Who knows? It's based
Yeah.
on all of it. Who cares? It's Star Wars. You love Star Wars? Here's some more Star Wars.
Here's some Star Wars on top of your Star Wars.
Exactly.
Exactly. Have more Star Wars. Play Star Wars.
Yeah, but yeah, beyond that though, continue building off of that. One thing I liked about Star Wars Vision is that all the diverse narratives. This was a show that set out to explore the galaxy outside the main Star Wars canon, and they succeeded. They were not getting the same story multiple times outside of like 2 episodes. We kind of got the same lone samurai story, but still, like each episode is like, it's not about Luke, it's not about Leia, it has nothing to do with Skywalkers, has nothing to do with Palpatine returning.
Thank
unless
God.
the Elder is Palpatine.
Stop.
The closest it came to like the main canon is having Jabba show up. Jabba and Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chibi Boba Fett. I love it.
That was hilarious. I was actually there. I was like, wow, all right. Boba Fett still sucks even in this universe.
He crowd surfed.
But yeah, no, it's just like it's kind of like what I want more from Star Wars, where it's like it's about just random different people, including one episode where it's like it's about a non-human character. It was like, okay, yeah, like give me more of that. Like,
Yeah.
it's definitely strange to think that like these studios understood Star Wars more than Disney did.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, because I think any one of these is significantly better than the Disney trilogy as a whole.
I'd even go as far
Better
as say
than
better
Last
than the prequel
Jedi?
trilogy.
I don't know. We'll leave that one up for debate.
I'd even go as far as say even like more than like even maybe Lucas understood himself with the prequel trilogy. Like
Yeah.
there are
I
some
think
bits
so
I'm
too.
like, oof, like this is more Star Wars than that. Leading into like what I liked basically, like similar to what you said, Kevin, I enjoyed how each episode felt different, whether or not, regardless if I liked it or not.
Mhm.
I did like the duration of the episodes, like how short and digestible they were. It was easy just to get through, kind of like Infinity Train was. I enjoyed the heck out of it. That was very nice. And like you said, the exploration of tales outside live action Star Wars was fun and felt very comic book-y, almost kind of like not an Elseworlds or What If, but like, oh, this is just like what's going on in the Star Wars galaxy over here instead of like with the damn Skywalkers.
Right.
And the one other thing I did love was all the different animation and art styles, like just how vastly different each one was, and it really shows like how strong animation can be as a medium.
Right, for sure. And
Yeah.
it really shows that like when anime isn't just the same art style every time.
Yeah.
It's anime shows. I mean, obviously a lot of them have like a similar style because it's for product efficiency and whatnot, and based on each studio. But like each studio does have their own art style that they bring into the table when they adapt manga or when they create their own animation.
Right.
It's very So it's Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, I was just like, one thing I did enjoy that each animation style also did well with lightsabers.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Because
I love the lightsabers.
like each lightsaber battle felt like they were fluid despite being in a different style each time.
And each one felt
Like, it
different
felt-
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
In the duel when Ronan first drew his lightsaber, that was a hype moment.
That has become a
That-
TikTok
ooh.
trend now.
Yeah.
If you believe it or not.
I believe it.
Yeah.
It's perfect for the TikTok trend.
It's that like part where she's like, your lightsaber blade is red, and it's got like Industry Baby from Lil Nas X under it, and it's a dope transition. It's a really cool. I really like that trend a lot. Actually, it's really cool.
You have to send it
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, it's like people like drawing their lightsabers out, and like some are like dressed up in full like cosplay and costumes, and it looks really cool. And then some are just thirst
Nice.
traps, and I'm like, why? Like, get out of here.
I just like
Oh,
that
TikTok.
he had a red lightsaber. I was like, okay, I see where this is going.
I had a feeling that was coming. I'm like, there's no way this man's a Jedi. I'm like, I'm here for it. And
Yeah, I knew it was
yeah.
coming too, because it's like, yeah, it's just like he's an anti-hero essentially. Yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, it's like I felt like when you think about it, it's like it's the best way to go instead of just being a
Right.
normal Jedi.
Well,
Also-
one person said it was just the only reason he intervenes is because they shot his droid.
Yeah, honest trailers.
And honestly, the one cool thing about like Star Wars Visions, so like we were asking about if it's gonna be part of the canon, right? I just looked it up. Unclear answer, but there is gonna be a novel that ties into the duel.
Oh,
Yeah, it's published by Del Rey, and it's gonna be come out October 12th, 2021. So that's in a couple days from now.
2
Oh,
days.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't believe it.
I know,
Buy a
and-
Star Wars novel.
I know, right? And it focuses on the Jedi and Sith, but with an alternate history pulled from Japanese lore.
I'm gonna buy a Star Wars novel.
Yes, you are. Also, just for note for the audience, if you hear any background noise, that's the rain. It just cut loose rain-wise. So I apologize for that.
Big rip.
Big grip in the chat.
Oh, it's sunny out here, Zach.
It was sunny, but being in Florida, and like it just rains, it just pops up.
Rain can come at any moment.
Yes, sir. But back to the episode, the Star Wars Visions, very good. I enjoyed it. There were some slow bits, but like the highs outweigh the lows.
Well, speaking of that, what's one thing you guys didn't like about this? And if you say you didn't love it,
That's a good question, Ryan, that we'll get to after our break.
What? Starting a podcast? Try a Podbean Unlimited hosting plan. It's what we use here at Committed Critics, giving us the opportunity to have our show on Pandora, iHeartRadio, and even Spotify. You can get your first month of unlimited hosting for free on us by going to podbean.com/committedcrits, just like our Twitter, or by clicking the link in the description. Podbean, the easiest, most affordable option to get started in podcasting.
Don't you wish there was a pop culture review site that appealed to cinephiles, both professional and casual? Well, look no further than crpwrites.com. New content such as movie and TV reviews, film essays, and more are released every week by writers who crave for movies like every moviegoer craves for popcorn. CRP Writes is dedicated to making sure no one is wasting time or money where they shouldn't be. After all, you have to be able to buy your popcorn and eat it too. crpwrites.com. Casual reviews with purpose since 2018.
And welcome back to Committed Critics as we continue our talk on Star Wars Visions and one thing we did not like. Zach, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I really didn't like I said earlier in the first half of the episode, was some of the episodes I didn't really care for the story being told. And I think that lies in the writing, as Kevin will point out in a little bit. Spoilers. I'd say I generally enjoyed about a little under half the episodes, with the others being a little flat that I probably wouldn't want to go back and rewatch. I think off the top of my head, I'm thinking of 4 episodes in particular that I really enjoyed. And the other 5 didn't really hit for me, but they were still like, quote, good. And like, I respect the hell out of them. They're just not my cups of tea, if that makes any sense.
For sure. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
What about you, Ryan?
thing I didn't like, it was just some, like Zach said, some of the writing
Yeah.
was a little bit rough, but also it was like, I usually I have no problem with the sub or dub debate or whatever. I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
But for this, some of the dub was very rough because I watched some of these with my family, and I could tell they lost interest on when the dub got rough, which was Tatooine Rhapsody, Toby and the twins, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But the twins got him back with the whole, brother sister fight and everything.
Right.
But it was it was like some of the writing for them, like the way
twins,
they talked.
The twins was really rough. Did you guys know it was Allison Brie voicing Am?
I figured that out later. I was like, I remember looking at her in the cast list. I'm like, I wonder who she played. I look back, it was Am. I'm like, oh my god.
This
here's the thing.
This is her second time dubbing, I think, for an anime, and it's I don't know. I didn't watch her. I didn't listen to her do the dub for the first one, which was Weathering with You. It's a movie, anime movie. But like
I have that.
Yeah. But it's I don't know. I was like her voice. I don't know. It just did not fit. It wasn't working. It was.
I think it fit for Am. This might sound like bad if this wasn't an anime style. Like if she was just like a American made like
if she wasn't dubbing, if she was if it was written for her. If it was like built around her,
Yeah, because I also didn't realize. I was like, Neil Patrick Harris. This doesn't sound anything like Neil Patrick Harris.
Did you guys recognize Simu Liu?
He was the brother.
Neil Patrick Harris was the brother.
Yeah,
did not realize that. Yes,
I did not realize that was Neil Patrick Harris at all.
That was Neil Patrick Harris.
Wow.
Huh.
I did.
Yeah, no,
I know Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in the Tatooine Rhapsody.
Yeah, that's where I was like, this is losing me, because I was like, here's the thing. I watched sub first.
Yeah, it's like the thing of like not to like make a YouTube trend sound professional and academic, but like celebrity voice acting. There's people who do dubs. Dubbing and voice and being a voice actor are two different things.
Yeah.
And then these are actors that sometimes do voice acting, and then like now they're doing a dub. So it's like, it's 2 layers deep.
Yeah.
In a different direction than what they're used to. I mean, but like most of them nail it. I mean, like, but some of them, like, Allison Brie, David Harbour, just didn't quite work very well.
I did.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to answer Kevin's question. I did figure out who Simu was. I was like, this person sounds very familiar. And I looked at him like, I knew it was him.
Yeah, it was the dad from the Ninth Jedi.
Yeah, it was the Sabersmith, which is a dope title. Sabersmith. That's awesome. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I just think they should got usual anime voice actors for some of the dubbing. Yeah. I was like, these voices would have worked better than having.
I think
some
for like the
celebrity
extras
cast.
was a bunch of was the usual dub voice actors.
Interesting. Okay.
Not a lot though.
Yeah.
But it's Disney, like it's Disney money. So they do the same thing with Studio Ghibli stuff. They hire celebrities to do dub for Studio Ghibli. Like they had Scarlett Johansson for one of the Studio Ghibli movies, I think.
And that's why Liam Neeson's in Ponyo.
Yep.
It's still the weirdest fact I know.
All right, fair enough.
But yeah, I know. I mean, like one thing I didn't like was also like the writing tends to be flat sometimes.
Yeah,
the twins was like we were talking about. It's like it's just what non-anime watchers would think anime is. I actually really enjoyed Tatooine Rhapsody. I didn't really have any issues with that one. Toby was more like the pacing of it, where it's like the scenes did not blend transition from one to the other very well.
The back half of Toby was what I liked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love the back half of Toby, and I love the concept of Toby of like a kid droid, becoming a Jedi. It kind of like in the spirit of Astro Boy.
It's funny you say that because the back half of Toby is what I don't like. I liked everything up
really?
until after the professor died, and I was like, well, this is stupid.
Big rip.
Yeah, big rip.
I was just like, I was very much like kind of already, because I was like, okay, whatever, he has a lightsaber, I can live with that. It was then I was like, okay, he's fighting the Sith, he's using the Force. Okay, now he's got a suit of armor on him. Okay, I can't. Is the Sith a robot? What are we? What's going on?
It was an Inquisitor. It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Tatooine Rhapsody. It's just, I think the problem, the same way with Toby, is in a weird place in between solid episodes. Is that Tatooine Rhapsody is between the duel and the twins.
Yeah,
which blew my mind. And then Tatooine Rhapsody, I'm like, why do I care about this?
Sorry,
I generally like the order of the episodes, except until we get to the end with Akakiri. I feel like Akakiri and Lop and Ocho should have been swapped so that we just end on a better note.
I think that was a point is to end it on a dark note because none of the other stories ended.
Or maybe end on the twins.
Yeah, I think ending on the twins would have been a good send off for the series. I think there's a better order out there for these episodes, in my opinion. I think leading off with a duel was a very strong start, in my opinion.
Yeah, starting with the
Yeah.
duel is like solid, on point.
Well, I think it's because Akakira is also the one that was. It's just like the style is very different from the others,
Mhm.
along with the duel,
Mhm.
and
Right.
then also I think they wanted to end it on two the duel starts off with Sith who's kind of like doing good,
Yeah.
and then it ends on a Jedi who ends up doing evil. So I'm like,
Fair
it
enough,
kind of
yeah.
it kind of like parallels each other, and also I think they just want to like all the other stories kind of had a somewhat hopeful ending to it.
Yeah.
Like even Lop and Ocho had a somewhat hopeful ending. This is the
Mhm.
only one with a darker ending. So yeah, they could have put it in the middle or something,
Mhm.
but I think putting it at the end was a solid choice for it.
I think we could.
That's just my
I think we should
opinion.
include this in our Patreon exclusive episode where we reordered the episodes along with ranked them, and so stick around for that, my friends.
Give
I
us
agree.
money.
Yep, give us that money to hear other thoughts, please. Thank you. And moving on.
And yeah, so kind of final notes before we close out here. What was your favorite episode and why?
Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
let me see. I'm not saying I'm a furry, but Lop and Ocho is hot.
Oh my god.
Whoa!
No, I really love Lop and Ocho, which is the 8th episode. It was a very, I don't know, it was like just the whole style of it too. It was it was like watching an 80s or 90s anime movie, like Akira, or
Yeah.
even just going back to like Cowboy Bebop as well.
Don't lie,
Um,
Kevin. You're a big Lola Bunny fan.
Oh
I was
man,
gonna say
of
like,
course.
Or Jessica Rabbit.
who would win the fight? Who would win the fight? Kevin Lop, Lola Bunny, or Judy Hopps?
Or Jessica Rabbit.
Man,
Or
they're all gonna
Rabbit.
fight. So no, even like the world building of it as well, where it was kind of had a subtle environmental message to it going on, and just like I love the design of everything. Yeah, it was kind of weird to have like a bunny person in Star Wars.
Honestly,
Especially
though,
like
it's
like
the
when it
only-
was like start off as a kid, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
fine. Then like there's this jump to 7 years later, and like she's dressed differently. I'm like, okay, you know what you're doing.
you knew what you were doing. No, I think Lop and Ocho. At first, I wasn't sold on it. Off screen, I was like, gross. And looking back at the episode list, I'm like, wow, actually, I do like Lop and Ocho a lot more than I thought I did.
I like there's just I love the story of it. Like it's
Yeah.
so there's the emotion is there, and it's like I didn't realize how emotionally connected I was to it until the end. And I was like, damn, I want more.
Well, it's
Like-
also it's one of the stronger stories. Like I said, I was going through the list of ones I liked, and I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, Lop and Ocho is a stronger one than everything else
Mm-hmm.
on like compared to like Tatooine Rhapsody and The Village Bride, which I didn't really all care for that much, and I found Lop and Ocho to be a lot more stronger when it comes to writing.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like Lop and Ocho gets a lot done in such a short amount of time.
I think it was also the longest
Yeah.
episode though.
I think it is the
It is the
longest one
longest.
too. Yeah.
It also I feel like is the one that has the most potential to go with the story somewhere
Yeah.
else besides Ninth Jedi.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
I think the other thing is, like you said earlier, Kevin, this is like the only one that features like an alien as a main protagonist,
Exactly.
which I was like
thought was
blown away by.
very strange. I was expecting a little bit more, but just one. I was like, all right, well, I'll take it.
I guess you could also maybe count like Tatooine Rhapsody because like there's a lot more aliens in that one than compared to
yeah,
the other
they're
ones.
all like a band.
It's like a group kind of dynamic, like the Guardians.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am.
That's
kinda
probably also why I like Tatooine Rhapsody a bit too. more
I am
than
kind of
most
surprised that there
people.
were not a lot more of like the alien species from Star Wars like forerunning this like series because that's a big like you're in animation, right? You could do a lot more cool stuff than like movies and TV where it's like, oh man, that
Yeah.
costs a lot more money to do.
I mean,
Yeah, like
technically,
Puppet
technically
Jabba the Hutt
Toby.
leading the movie.
Yeah,
It's like technically Toby's something different. I mean,
True,
yes,
yeah.
he's a,
Toby's
he's a,
also-
he
yeah,
wants to be a
droid.
real boy, but
yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah.
he's
Toby can. I love to see a continuation of Toby, but it just needs a different writer. I love the
Agreed.
concept though.
Yeah, I agree. It's very like this might be sound like weird, but it's a nice, it's a cool like Destiny the game kind of vibe.
Uh-huh.
Because like there are like I think it's called what is it, Ryan? Did you play Destiny, Ryan?
I played Destiny.
What was the species for the robotic Exos? And they had like
Yeah,
access to like the
Exos.
magic that the Destiny characters have, like the humans and the aliens
Oh.
did too.
Or it
So
could be
it-
like the Geth and Mass Effect.
Yeah, or like
kinda.
the Geth and Mash. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay, this is very interesting. Star Wars has never done that before. Give a droid the Force, and I thought that was really kind of cool.
Right, and it's just also like it helps with the world building a bit more too. It's just like so what what does a person require to use the Force? Does they need a soul? Does an AI mean that has a soul? Or like what makes Toby different from a regular droid? So
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Uh,
But yeah, what are your guys' favorite episode?
Well, Ryan and I actually share a favorite episode for once. So Ryan, go ahead.
Wow. Ninth Jedi. That was my favorite episode.
The Ninth Jedi was dope.
Yeah,
I think we can both agree the twist was one of the best parts.
Yeah, I think for me, like, I'm a hoe for a good kyber crystal and lightsaber story. You give me a lightsaber, I'm a hoe for a lightsaber, my dude. And colors. I'm a hoe for colors too. So the idea of like kyber crystals changing color for the user, like when you hold a lightsaber, so like my color could be different from like Ryan's color, is fascinating. I love that. And honestly, I enjoy that concept more than the basic Star Wars lightsaber canon where it's like, oh, the crystal reflects the user and like it's different. Like that's such a way cooler concept to me. It makes it a little bit more like fantasy aspect of Star Wars, where it's a little bit more like the Force aspect.
Well, it's like it's like a visual representation of the Force, and also the user's personality. Whereas what is the original canon? It's just like they just customize it.
So the original canon is like the crystal connects to the person. So like that crystal has a bond with you, and that is your lightsaber crystal, basically.
Okay.
And so like you build your lightsaber with the parts you want, you create, make it your own. And I always thought that was really, really cool and very fascinating. Kind of like Harry Potter, like the wand chooses the wizard kind of thing, right?
Gotcha.
But anyone can still use another person's lightsaber. And like, case in point, like Luke using his father's lightsaber, Rey using Luke and his father's lightsaber, et cetera, et cetera. But like, I think it'd be a lot more fascinating, like if there's that like Force connection to the crystal from the user who's using that lightsaber, because you can have that like customization and that like personalization in the hilt itself, and the crystal is like a symbol of the Force flowing through the user, where it's like, okay, the color changes for each user, which the Ninth Jedi shows, and is really cool.
Yeah, because I really like that the one dude, his lightsaber goes from red to purple, which is kind of like purple supposed to be that in between of light and dark.
Right, and they call it out where it's like, oh man, I was close there, and like it's like, yeah, you were. Yeah, I found it fascinating.
It really works really well with the Ninth Jedi. And it's like the thing is, like, they mention it in the early part of the episode, and they're just like, yeah, like, you know, it changes depending on how your connection to the Force. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then like they need to get to the twist. It's like, oh, that's what it was setting up for, because you thought all these people were Jedis. They're not.
Yeah, and the twist is like, it honestly made me think like, oh, the Jedi are just being stupid. They're gonna die from their hubris from this overarching villain. Okay, cool. And then the twist happens and just pulled me back in. I'm like, holy crap.
Well, I also like that they made all these Sith-looking characters like they looked like they were nicer characters. Like, your first thought for half of those wouldn't be, oh, this is a Sith Lord. Like they all look like they were kind, like friendly characters, and then all of a sudden, bam.
Yeah, I agree. It was very much like wolf in sheep's clothing. Is that what it is?
Yeah, and also,
I think so.
And some of those species I feel like were newer-ish.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't remember seeing that little dude before.
Yeah, no, very well done. I enjoyed it. Simu's awesome in it as the sabersmith. Great, my favorite episode.
Yeah. So if you want to continue hearing our thoughts on Star Wars Visions, including how we would want to order the episodes and how we would rank them, just go ahead and jump on over to our Patreon. Just a little bit of cash every month, and you can get access to all our episodes and bonus second halves. Until then, thank you for listening to us. We got our Twitter. I got Committed Critic. Yeah. We got our Twitter at Committed Critics. That is COMMITTED_ITS. You can follow us on YouTube, spelled it the same. There it is here. Everyone else, Committed Critics. Special thanks to our current patrons, Davey Peppers from Game Mechanics, Ryan Kowalkowski from Ryan Plays Drums, Andy Phillips from Andy Phillips, and Jody Wright. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.